I think I'm going to make a couple tweaks on here, just give you guys some options as I'm looking at this more. I don't know if I love that fillet that I did a while ago. Not that one, but that one. Double click on that one. I feel like it might be too big. I'm going to try something a little less aggressive, see what that looks like. Okay. Not bad. And then, out of curiosity, kind of curious what, oof, no, didn't like that. Kind of curious if I threw a little fillet on here, just to kind of smooth the transition in. I'm going to try and circular pattern it after I do it one time. I could travel back in time to fix it a little bit more. But I'm going to try that. That looks pretty good. And then circular pattern that around. Any of these should be the same. If it doesn't like it, I'll just do the fillet all at once. Looks like it does. So if that didn't work for you and you wanted to do that, you could just do fillet and click on all those edges at the same time and it might work better. And then, I don't know if I like how big that fillet is. And these are also things you could label later if you have a hard time finding things. But I feel like that one might be a little bit too much for what I'm doing. So I'm going to try a smaller one because I'm going to take this and I am going to put in the lug nut holes. So we'll see if that looks cool or not. So what I'm going to do is, now that I got this, I'm going to go back to that same sketch. So since it was a really good image, got that cutout sketch. You can find it there. You might find it in one of your extrusions that you did. I'm just going to grab this one. So everything was all lined up, and I'm just going to take that circle right there. Made it visible. And I could have double clicked on it without doing visibility, but I went ahead and did the visibility anyway. Put a little hole there, and actually I'm going to go about like this, and I am just going to take that, then make another hole right here. And there's a couple different ways we could do this. I could go from sketch mode here, take this, I could I could extrude this little hole all the way through if I could select it, and then do the other one just partially, or do a chamfer. But I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to borrow some dimensions. Throw that in there. Get that back later. Alright, and I don't need these to be exact. I'm just going to get it pretty close. So it looks like 0.05. And then we'll call that a 0.09. And so what that means is I'm going to I'm going to put a sketch on the top of the pentagon surface, so I'm selecting it pretty easily there. When I put that sketch on there, I am going to project the geometry, and if I wanted the circles I could. I don't really need them. I'm going to do it this way. Other ways you could do it. But it puts a point there, and I'll use hole. So I typically don't like to do extrusions when it's actually a hole, because I like having some of those hole notes if I ever want to make drawing sheets for it. So if I go H on my keyboard, or I do a right click, from sketch it'll default to that center, and I can use a countersink here. So I can either mess with the countersink, or if I want to do a counter bore, whatever you thought looked good. But I'm going to say the inner one, I believe I said was 0.05. And then the big one here was 0.09 with my rounding. But you can see how it puts that little angle in there. And you could change the angle if you wanted to, but I think that looks pretty good. Ooh, that's nice. Now that I have just one of those, I could circular pattern. And I could have traveled back in time and done that earlier in my model tab, but this should be fine. Centerline axis, I just want 5 of those. And I think that looks pretty good. So feel better about where that is. If you wanted to soften the edges a little bit, you could do a little fillet there. Matter of fact, I might even travel back in time and just to see what it looks like. Throw a fillet there, maybe throw a little fillet there, and then travel back to the future. And in my circular pattern, I will also hold Control, click on those, and then yeah, I think that looks better than it did before, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to call that one done. So there you go. If you wanted to make this particular wheel, I think that looks pretty darn close to the real deal based off of just that one picture. If you have this little hiccup here where I've got it cut out, you can leave it like that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you didn't think that looked good, so for example, maybe you didn't want these holes to go all the way through, a couple options you have. You could have, instead of doing a termination through all, I could do a distance. I can even do a 2, but I might do a distance and then just have it not go all the way. So maybe just have it go down a little bit. So for example, maybe here I will just have it go, let's see, I don't want to go all the way through, but I just want it to make a little indent. That'll give me that indent, but it won't go all the way through. Like I said, if you didn't mind the little indent, that's fine. So that'll give you a little bit of a different look where it's got things like that. Also on the hole feature there, you could have it where it's got the angled bottom, or you could have it where the drill point is flat, depending on what look you like. And really, if you wanted to, after you have that flat one, maybe you go back to this fillet and you say, maybe I'd like it if that was also filleted. Once again, good use of the model tab, and you can get a lot of stuff done pretty quick. You could even put actual fake lug nuts in there, which, you know what? Why not? We'll add one in there later. But, I don't know. Well, actually, maybe I'll just leave it like that. I think that looks pretty good. If you wanted to change any colors, for example, you could copy that to there. If you like the way that looked, then you could repeat that all the way through. I think it looks pretty good like that. And so I'm going to keep mine looking like that. And I think that looks pretty good. So there you go. That's that one. Just to give you a visual, here's what it would look like next to our Automoblocks body. Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, thanks for watching.